welcome back to When Sunday Comes. We've got action from 2 league games for you and also an interview with North West Neasden legend Adam Klein and some fun in the form of dizzy penalties. Let's kick off with the match between Oakwood and Hendon.
Both teams went into the match with 100% records, which meant something had to give. Due to technical difficulties, we were unable to catch Hendon's first goal by Zach Lewis, but will join the action in the second half. Oakwood's dominance paid off when they got a deserved equaliser after Brad Wine produced some excellent work down the right before putting it on a plate to David Woolman. There were some rough challenges throughout the match, with the referee dishing out a number of yellow cards. And it was Oakwood who looked more likely to get a winner as the match wore on, but Hendon snatched victory right at the death with a goal of the season contender from Zach Lewis. Ben Lawfer laid it off for Zach, who flicked it up with his right and volleyed it into the top corner with his left. It was a volley Alan Shearer would have been proud of. Player manager Greg Corrin praised Zach Lewis as being one of the most technically gifted players in the Jewish League. How impressed are you with that finish from Zach Lewis?
He's got the most incredible amount of ability. I think he's probably the most talented player in the league, and if he could keep doing that week in, week out, then he's definitely a candidate for player of the season.
Goal of the month contender from Zach Lewis?
Absolutely, it was a special strike.
And now it's time for New Boys Straw Hat Pirates against title contenders Mill Hill Dons. Let's see how they got on.
Mill Hill Dons are one of a cluster of teams going for the title in Division 2, and they thought they'd taken an early lead against Straw Hat Pirates, but this goal was correctly ruled out by referee Bob Kaplan. Look out for this handball by striker Zach Cohen. After words with the assistant, Kaplan ruled out the goal and booked Cohen. The Pirates took the lead via a well-struck free kick, but the Dons were level soon after with an excellent chip from player coach Jamie Nagyoff. The Dons stepped up a gear, and Cohen this time made it 2-1 with a goal that Kaplan did allow. But the Pirates didn't give up, they didn't let their heads drop, and equalised. The next goal was crucial, and it went the way of Mill Hill Dons with an own goal from a corner. And then they wrapped it up towards the end with Cohen squaring to Adam Isaacs with an emphatic finish to make it 4-2. But the game wasn't over yet. The Pirates continued to battle on, and they got a third goal after lots of attacks, with Jono Nesbitt firing a brilliant effort into the top corner. But the Dons held on to make it 6 wins out of 7, and on the balance of play they probably just about deserved it. Brandon, well done today. Were you happy with the performance?
Yeah, really good. The boys really showed up, especially in the second half. We weren't at our best, but to win when you're at your best is a sign of champions, and that's what we want to be this season.
Elliot, commiserations today. How happy were you with the performance?
Very happy with the performance. I mean, we've got to be stronger clearing from set pieces, but I think today the boys were a threat against a strong side who have now had more time in this league than us, and we did really well. Did ourselves proud.
What a fantastic match. Now it's time for my interview with Adam Klein. Best football memory?
Best footballing memory, I'd have to say scoring a 30-yard free kick at White Hart Lane. Obviously I've had some great ones in the MSFL over the years, but yeah, to actually get the opportunity to play at White Hart Lane was amazing. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I got the opportunity about 2 years ago to play there, and I remember we got a free kick about 25 minutes in, and there must have been about 6-7 people crowding around the ball wanting to take this free kick, and somehow I managed to blag them that I've got a great left foot. And I remember lining it up. Gary Grant was in goal, by the way, who's about 92, but whatever. It still went in the top bins, and yeah, it was just brilliant. Did a little Klinsmann dive at the end, which was a bit embarrassing, but that was probably the best memory that I'll take with me, caught on camera.
They could probably have done with you the other day as well, the Spurs.
Probably, yeah.
Toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent, as in hard man?
Yes.
The strongest, toughest opponent.
Who scares you?
Who scares me? Okay. I'd say, and again, I'm going back a long time because, it's Jewish football, isn't it? So no one's really that hard, although they think they are. I'd say Nigel Conway. I don't know if you remember him, but I remember playing against him in the early 2000s. We were playing for Atletico Stanmore. He was playing for Brixton. And I remember one incident, he got sent off in the game for 2 bookable offences, and it takes a lot to get booked in Jewish football, so you can imagine how bad these fouls were. Anyway, took 2 people clean out, got sent off, and as he's walking away, Kashi mumbles loudly under his breath, "See you later, mate." And Nigel just looked at him and just started sprinting towards him. And Kashi absolutely pooed himself, as you can imagine, ran the other way, sprinted away from him. And this was at Burton Hole Lane, so we were playing at the bottom pitch. If you can just imagine this, playing at the bottom pitch which goes that way. And there were 2 games going on across like that. And Kashi just ran across both pitches whilst the game's being played because he was so scared. And Nigel, I think, realised that he was never going to catch Kashi, being 20 years older than him. But Kashi wasn't taking the risk and just kept running. And it probably took about 10 minutes. I think he was hiding behind the change rooms for a little bit. Then when he came back, the game finally got up and running again. But yeah, definitely Nigel. Scary man. However, I've got to say that I've met Nigel recently since. He actually arranged a game at White Hart Lane, and he's actually the nicest guy you could ever meet. But on the pitch, he's got a bit of a screw loose.
Worst trainer who turned up in the big matches?
Worst trainer in the big games, I would say Scott Shinner's probably got to be up there. Scott and myself just messed around in training, to be honest. We went there more for the jolly than for the fitness. But he was pretty reliable, great centre-half, always done the job on the pitch. And I'd probably stick Blaney in there as well. Blaney never moved at training. Blaney doesn't move on the pitch either, but especially at training. And however, he just scores goals. I think his dad's done a whole book where he's counted every goal he scored, and I think he's on about 300 at the moment. So he's pretty reliable in games as well, but just didn't train, but didn't need to.
Most skillful opponent?
Most skillful opponent, I'd probably say Hikey, Johnny Hike. I mean, he's just got everything in his locker, skill-wise. So if you watch him doing keepy-uppies, he's got everything on the pitch. He thinks he's a little Ronaldo, do about 10, 15 step-overs and then lose it. But definitely the most skillful. I mean, I've seen him score from 40 yards, I've seen him miss from 2 yards. The end product probably let him down, but pretty talented player.
Biggest rivalry?
Biggest rivalry is probably any team from East London, to be honest. Chigwell, Barkingside, Redbridge, Marshall. I mean, all those teams. Whenever we travelled their way, it was always a grudge match, always a needle match. I'd say competitively, probably Lions over the years, but I'd say in terms of rivalry, the East London teams probably.
Best manager you've played under?
Best manager. There's been a few, to be fair. I've been managed by a few mates as well, but I'm not going to mention them. I'd say probably, in terms of the experience that I had under this manager, I'd probably say JC, in terms of when I was in Vienna, that trip specifically was just an unbelievable experience. We kind of went there against all odds, really. No one really gave us a sniff to get a medal, and we came away with bronze. I think what he did brilliantly, and I mentioned Bergie as well, because Bergie was his number 2, and Bergie's great with bringing camaraderie to teams, especially when you're away for 2 weeks. But they both, I guess the pair of them got that balance perfect between the experience and the success. I think that's probably why we got the bronze medal, was because he allowed us the flexibility to, have a couple of nights out in there. Not the night before a big game, but maybe a couple of nights before. Just the whole experience under him was brilliant. So I'll say JC.
Biggest moaner?
Daggers. No, probably Daggers. Yeah, on the pitch, he just moaned at his teammates non-stop. If he didn't get a ball to feet, he would have wanted it ahead of him. If he got the ball ahead of him, he would have wanted it to feet. He just loved to dig out his teammates. But if I didn't mention Blaney in that category as well, he'd probably moan that I didn't mention him. Although his moaning and frustration was probably at the linesmen's, the referee, all the officials. He just loved to moan.
Fastest player you've played against?
Fastest player? Well, against me, anyone looked pretty quick, to be honest. But I'd probably say either Stocky or Elliot Stern. Stocky, I just used to have to kick him because it's the closest I was going to get. I don't even think I managed to kick Elliot Stern, he was that quick. So probably one of those two. They're both pretty rapid.
Love Klein, what a great character. I think Spurs could have done with him at the weekend against Arsenal. Sam, what have you got for us now?
Let's check out Mill Hill Dons attempting some dizzy penalties.
Josh Sinner, centre back.
Oh my God!
One!
Sam.
Jack Cohen, striker. Josh Moses, right back.
Adam Isaacs, midfielder.
Mill Hill Dons look like they had a lot of fun during that challenge. Danny, how's the league table looking?
So Brady is still top of the table. There was only the one game in the Premier this weekend, as we've seen, Hendon beating Oakwood, so they're the only team with a 100% record. Division 1, there were no matches, but Faithfold are 2 points clear of Scrabble, who are having an excellent run. And in Division 2, Bayern München are a point clear of Mill Hill Dons, so that division is certainly wide open.
Thank you very much for joining us this week. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment using the hashtag WhenSundayComes. We'll see you next time.